everyone, and welcome to another excellent edition of Stars of Big Sky Country, the series that spotlights those at the high school, collegiate, or professional level that have made an impact right here in the 406. And today we're talking to somebody both high school and now collegiate level making an impact, and we're heading to the wrestling mats, the squared circle. Sorry, no top rope moves and no steel chairs, unfortunately, but he is a staple of the great state of Montana for wrestling. It is the Sydney's own Aden Graves. Welcome, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Man, so I gotta say, you have quite the resume, which we will, discuss, the different parts of your career. But I've got down here, so Sidney High School, obviously, you were a three-sport athlete, did football, wrestling, track and field, four-time state champion. And then at Providence, which is where you're wrestling at currently, last year you were ranked first for 157, and you were the CCC Player of the Week. I mean, did we miss anything?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
I think there was like an all-state honors in there somewhere, but man, very decorated, very decorated.
Yeah, yeah.
But Sydney, class A, where is Sydney? I always forget where Sydney is.
So Sydney is all the way on the eastern side. It's like 11 miles away from the North Dakota border. So we're pretty much
Wow.
classified as North Dakota. I mean, we get all the slack that comes with being North Dakota with all the flat land, no mountains over there. So
Yeah, I would always tell people coming from Spokane, which is where I was born and raised, Eastern Washington is so different from Western and even Central
Mhm.
Washington. You can drive through that state border to border and go through like everything that you would see if you went cross country in the US except for palm trees. So when people talk about living in Montana and what it's like, I used to go up to Priest Lake, Idaho every summer. And honestly, my personal opinion is that we should just have Montana absorb North Idaho, and then everything east of Billings should just go to one of the two Dakotas. Because
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think it's way prettier over here on the western side than the eastern side. So,
yeah, it has its moments. It's definitely the postcard side is the west side of the
oh
state
yeah.
for sure. Well, let's start with a quick icebreaker. This one, big debate. Fries or tots?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Uh, is this limited to like your basic fry or like you throwing in curly fries and stuff like
So
that?
I think if it's too close to call, like just, knee-jerk reaction is like, "Oh, I can't decide. Then you go to your tiebreaker, and that's the caveat of, okay, it's fries, but it has to be like sweet potato fries or crinkle cut. I mean, whatever you got to do.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go tots over like your normal French fry, but I think I'm taking like a curly fry or a sweet potato fry or a waffle fry over your tots. So,
Oh, okay. So standard, it's tots, but if it gets a little fancier, then you're a fry guy.
oh
That's
yeah,
fair enough.
oh yeah.
All right, well, let's get to know you through your eyes. One of my favorite questions here on the series is, what's it like to be you, Aiden Graves?
Um, that's a tough question. What's it like to be me? I don't know. I mean, I'm a pretty easygoing, laid back kind of guy. You know what I mean? I'm not super extra, but I just kind of hang out, have a good time. So
Okay. So laid back, chill, easy going. That's fair enough, man. But I read that you were from a wrestling family. We get a lot of athletes that's like their whole family's thing, football players, basketball players. You come from a wrestling family. And I remember when it was announced, I got a call from our reporter in Billings said, "Hey, Aiden Graves is going to Providence." And this is huge because he had offers to go to a Midwest school and he's choosing the Argos. So you got to get on this. And so you were one of my interviews for that decision. But let's turn back the clock a little further. So what does it mean to you to grow up in a wrestling family, I guess? Like what's that like in your opinion?
I mean, it was cool. Like over in Sydney, like I mean, if you know Sydney, the wrestling over there is like it's top notch under Guy Melby. Like so just not only just in my family, but in the community, wrestling was such like a big thing because my dad wrestled, like grew up wrestling, and then my mom kind of got brought into it through my dad. But I mean, I don't know. I was just kind of known as like the wrestler growing up when I was little. Like I was just like that. So I mean, I never really had like a problem with it. I just accepted it and was like, yeah, I'm the kid that wrestles, I guess. So
The kid that wrestles, I guess. Fair enough. But so what's it like being at a school where there's so much, into the wrestling program and such a great coach? I mean, is it kind of like, you were a three-sport athlete, but it's like if I'm going to be in wrestling, I need to be all in on wrestling.
Um, I mean, there's definitely that. I mean, because like growing up in high school doing three different sports, like it was okay, we got football and then we go right into wrestling and then we go right into track. And then summer was filled with doing like everything. And since coming to college, I've kind of like realized, oh, I don't got to do all the like the extra stuff that I was doing for like football or for like track. I can go kind of just stick to wrestling. And I've definitely seen like leaps and bounds on my wrestling getting better just because I'm solely focused on wrestling. So
Was there ever a time where you thought, maybe football could be my sport? I'm assuming you were probably running back, defensive back kind of guy.
yeah, I was running back and a strong safety. And I mean, like I always had fun with football, but it was always going to be wrestling. Like I think I knew that from the time I was probably 7, 8 years old.
Well, I gotta say, it sounds a lot like I'm talking to AJ LaFerge. I don't know if you ever got to know him or talk to him. You guys were different classes, but when it comes to wrestling, that doesn't really matter. But he was, I want to say either a year before you, or maybe you guys were the same class. But he was a football player, running back, defensive back, and then his life was wrestling, and then he did track and field as well. And he told me, he's like, yeah, it was always going to be wrestling. So.
Yep, no, I know. I know him actually really well. I think I was down in Butte and got to hang out with him for a little bit. He's a good dude. So, and I think he was a year before me, but I know him pretty well. So,
One thing I was curious about as far as your high school career, I mean, four-time champion, was there ever a guy in your weight class or talking about possibly bumping up a weight class or coming down to your weight class that was like that guy that it was like if I'm gonna not be state champion, it's gonna be because of them.
I mean, so early on in my freshman year, it wasn't necessarily like a chase to go like wrestle at state, but I always like Cooper Birdwell and I would always talk about, hey, you want to have like a super match? Like I'll wrestle you, you wrestle me. But I mean, by the time we kind of got to it, I was a little bit bigger than he was. He's a little bit smaller, so it was kind of like just never kind of happened. But I mean, there wasn't any crazy athletes that were around me, but like Connor Harris from Haver was really tough. We hit my sophomore year, and then he bumped up. But other than that, I mean, not really. Because over in Sydney, it was always more about, hey, let's go get the team state championship. So it wasn't like, oh, I got the choice on where I'm going. Melb's pretty adamant about, no, you're going here because this is where we need you for the team. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's always been interesting to me the team aspect of certain sports that are very much like individually driven, and wrestling
Mhm.
is one of them. I mean, it's like you guys are a team at the end of the day, yes, but you guys aren't doing doubles like tennis, and it's not a relay like in track. Like it's literally like the sole purpose of wrestling is one on one. So, you
Mhm.
guys go out there, you do your best for the team. And I mean, did you have those moments where it was like you won and you handled your end of things, but then the team came up short? And what kind of feeling is that like? I mean, is it still a gratifying feeling for you knowing that you did your part, or is the team's goal the end goal?
I think for me, just because like Melb's and my coaches back in Sydney, always for me, it was the team needed to be more first. Like, I mean, if it was like a dual loss and I won my match and I did all I could, like I got a pin and I got 6 points, like you still get a pretty good feeling about that. But then like, the team still lost and you're kind of like, okay, well, I mean, I won my match, that's cool and all, but we still lost. So
That'd be tough, man. Like I don't envy that part of wrestling. I think that'd be really tough because it's like you look at team sports like football and you have a receiver that's got like, 8 catches for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's like they literally did everything they could do. The defense couldn't keep them out of field goal range, for that kick that lost the game.
oh yeah.
And so you're just like, man, like what more could they have done? And for you guys, it's like the same thing. You go out there, you wrestle, you get the pin, which is the priority. But even if you win by points, it's like you did your part, and then for the team, it's still there's still that part of it. What I have been curious about when it comes to wrestling is I know that a lot of tournaments, they take forever. Tournaments do, whether it's track and field meets, for state or wrestling, whatever. But do you guys ever have where if you're like early and now you have to wait for like the rest of the team, or if you get, I guess, eliminated, that you can go and do like an exhibition with somebody in a different weight class, you were saying, a dream matchup? Is there ever times that you guys get to do that, or is that not
Um,
okay?
in college, you don't see it as much, but you can definitely still do it. Like in high school, they call them all, like they have them all the time on like day two tournaments. where like okay, second chance like wrestlebacks, like people just could go over there and get matches. So you see a lot of that in high school, and then in college, you just got to talk to like the right people really, because most coaches are looking for kids to get some extra matches in. So like you can definitely find it if you ask for it. So.
Okay. So moving to the tail end of high school, let's talk about decision day. Providence, Argos. We all know Providence has a phenomenal wrestling program. I've talked with Comac several times. The dude is wrestling, and then I know his kid at Great Falls High. But for you, you were getting talks from very reputable schools in the Midwest. I think Minnesota was even one of them. Like, what was that process like for you, and how did the decision ultimately land on Providence?
So towards the end of my recruiting journey, I guess you could say, it was always going to be Minnesota or it was going to be Providence, because like when I came on my visit to Providence, I had a blast. I came here with my high school best friend. He signed that day, that when we came on our visit, and then I kind of told Comac like, hey, I'm kind of waiting, seeing how another opportunity goes. But I mean, I loved it here when I got here, and like I knew a bunch of the kids on the team because there's a bunch of Montana kids. Knew Comac for a long time, and then I met Ty and Cole, and I knew how good they were like growing up in high school and what they did in college. So loved it here, and then just kind of waited on another opportunity with Minnesota. Went and took a visit there. Loved the campus, loved the hustle and bustle of the big city. You know what I mean? Really thought about it. It was kind of back and forth. And then, I mean, ultimately, it kind of came down to staying closer to home, being maybe a little bit more comfortable with like the smaller town atmosphere, which is what I'm used to. And then my best friend signing here too is also a big part of it. So, and then just ultimately I was like, yeah, no. I remember I was standing in my kitchen talking to my parents, talking about it, and I was like, I don't remember exactly how it went, but I basically said like, hand me the folder, I'm signing the Providence. Like I just made up my mind standing right there.
Yeah, I don't have any Providence gear. I had to bust out my Shawn Michaels wrestling shirt and my NXT wrestling hat, which is very different style of wrestling, which we will get to talk about here in a little bit. But what was it? You mentioned the small town thing and kind of going from one in Sydney to another in Great Falls. And yeah, I'll admit it's a city, but it's probably like the smallest city that I've ever been like a part of the community. It's got a very small town feel to it. But what was it about Sydney that you feel, or even growing up in Montana as a whole, that shaped you into who you are now today, Aden Graves?
I think it was a large part of it. I mean, obviously a lot of it goes to my parents and growing up with three other brothers, but growing up in like a small town, like definitely I think is a big part of me. Like I don't think I'll ever be able to move to a big city or something like that. I think I'm always going to be kind of small town. I like the relaxed, laid back feel to it, not everybody's in such a big hurry to get everywhere. Like everybody's okay with slowing it down a little bit.
Now, I imagine that you're somebody that probably keeps up with, college around the state. I know I have friends from when we lived in the Midwest who are huge Iowa State fans, and so I'll see posts shared about how well their boys or girls are doing on the mats. And I just wonder if for you, when you, check in on places that you could have been, Minnesota being one of them, is there ever any what if moments that you have, or were you kind of, did you find confidence and comfort in your decision for Providence?
I mean, there's always going to be those what ifs, and like I've always been like, oh man, like I could have been doing that with that team. I kind of had those moments. But I mean, I look back, like looking at it now, and I'm extremely grateful that I made the decision. I'm happy I made the decision that I did. I'm perfectly happy here doing what I'm doing now. So.
Other than the family, of course, was there a coach or, and then you said your best friend had signed with Providence, but was there anybody else in your ear that helped you kind of get to the point where we're like, give me the folder, I'm signing with Providence?
Um, no, not really. Everybody that like I was close to that I talked to pretty much was like, "Hey man, like this is it's up to you, like whatever you want to decide here." Like nobody really tried to influence me one way or another in any type of way. Everybody was pretty like, "Whatever you're good with, like we're gonna support you." So.
And then you got there and you started to make an immediate impact and climbed your way up the rankings. Like I said, last year you were ranked first at 157 CCC Player of the Week, and one of the faces of wrestling for Providence. But now you told me you're doing a red shirt, you're taking kind of a year off. What was the decision there?
I mean, so when I got to school, it was always going to be 4 years, four and done, move on. with life, get out of here, go live my life. But since coming here, like a big reason why I'm so grateful I came here is like I met some of my best friends ever. You know, what I mean, I'm probably gonna know these guys and hang out with these guys till I die. So um meeting those guys and getting close with those guys, I decided, you know what, hey, never mind, like I'm not going to do the four and done. I want to red shirt and graduate with my boys pretty much. So that was kind of the biggest decision about it.
And what was that conversation like with Comac? I'm assuming he probably hasn't, never had those. Like, I guess they probably come around once in a while, but you're still part of a team at the end of the day, and your decisions affect the rest of the team. So, what was that conversation like with him when you said, "Hey, can I do this?"
I mean, he was super like, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like he's really open to like your own thoughts and what you're feeling, what you're going through. So he was like, yeah, no, absolutely. I don't have a problem with it. And he's like, but if we're gonna do this, like we're not getting fat, we're not getting out of shape. We're going to every practice, we're going to every workout. Like, you know what I mean? We're gonna use this year not as like a year to get off, but we're gonna use it as a year to get better. So we're prepared for the next year. So
You're not gonna get fat. That's
yeah.
that's such a coach thing to say. That's too funny.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a wrestler coach kind of thing. So,
Well, I saw you at the duels last week against Northern. So have you found yourself, I don't know if coaching is in your future because we haven't quite gotten to that portion of the program yet, but I mean, did you feel like you've stepped into a pseudo coaching role in your year off or redshirting?
yeah, definitely. I mean, I do plan on I want to coach after I'm done for sure. That's always been like a goal since I was little. I wanted to coach, but I mean, I've definitely stepped into a role of like helping out these younger guys, these other freshmen that are red shirting and just like I went to another tournament early on this year where I didn't wrestle at, and I was walking around helping the coaches with stuff that they needed with. So.
Well, now I got to ask, as somebody who's outside the wrestling ring looking in, who on the team has impressed you the most this season? Because there were some impressive guys at the duel. I mean, Irish is obviously somebody that I know and love his ability. You guys got Brendan Lockhart back home here in Great Falls, and then Bowden Banta was the most impressive wrestler stepping up a weight. And then Jesse Anson with the pin at 259. I mean, those were all, great guys and a great event. But who's impressed you in your eyes the most this year?
The most, I think I'm gonna give it to your guy Banta. You gave him the belt, and I think you gave it to him for a good reason. I mean, all year he's just been, he's shown a really high level for being a freshman. You know what I mean? He's got those intangibles. He works super hard in the room, and like when the coaches came to him, were like, "Hey, you want to bump up and wrestle a tougher kid at 33?" I mean, I guarantee you, he didn't hesitate and said, "Sure, I'll do it." And that's just kind of the kid he is. Like super good at wrestling, works hard. Really funny kid too. If you get to talk to him, he's a really funny kid.
What is that like? I wanted to get some of your perspective on it because when I talk to him, obviously he's a younger kid, and so he's going to kind of do, whatever one is best for the team, but two, whatever the coach feels is best for the team. And you want to challenge yourself, obviously, but I can't help but feel like in the world of wrestling, like you are your weight class, if you understand what I mean. Like you are when people think 157, they're like, oh, Aden Graves, and if you bump up or bump down. Now it's kind of okay, there's some question marks, and it's not like those aren't your weight classes, those are different ones, and you want to challenge yourself or do what the team needs. But, what's it like, and what was your reaction when you were asked to bump up or go down in a weight class?
So from the day that I got to school here and to my last competition this year at national duels, Comac has always said, Graves, you're a 157 pounder. You're not going up. You're not going down. You're staying at 157. I don't care if the cut gets kind of hard and you feel like you need to go 65, you're a 157 pounder. And so I've always heard that. But then this year, with some people in and out for injury, I've had to bump up to 165 a couple times this year. And I mean, Comac would tell me, "Hey, don't worry, you're still going 57 next year, but we need to be 65 right now." So I mean, for me, it was never like a problem. Like, oh crap, I got to bump up and wrestle those big guys at 165. I was always like, okay, well, Comac wants me to, and if he's bumping me up, I know he believes that I can get it done. So
You said you want to be a coach. Admirable. A lot of pro wrestling that I follow, they're looking for more athletes, wrestlers in particular, because they feel that you guys know to put the safety of your opponent first. You're not out there to severely injure anybody, and your technique is, almost flawless because it's what you guys work on every day. So the transition is a bit smoother than if you try to teach a guy wrestling technique that's been like a power lifter his whole life. It's a little
Mhm.
different. Have you given any thought to Olympic or professional wrestling like what we see on TV?
I mean, no, not really. I was kind of always just like, I'm gonna go to college, do my wrestling, get my degree, and then move on with life and go into coaching.
Did you have a moment where that was maybe on the radar so much so that you had like a ring name picked out? Who would Aden Graves have been coming out to music?
I don't know if I ever thought about it like that, but one of my really good buddies was talking about Abel loves like WWE and stuff like that, and his favorite wrestler is Jey Uso, so I'd probably walk out to Jey Uso's theme.
Oh yeah, that's nice. I could see that for sure. I think you could have had the music probably wouldn't have worked if you wanted Jey Uso's music, but I could see like Aiden the Gravedigger Graves or something, going out there and just tearing people apart. But coulda, shoulda. I love talking to you guys about that because there's a few different avenues, including bare knuckle boxing, as it turns out. I don't know how well you know Kai Stewart, but he loves coming back to Great Falls and getting with you wrestlers. He can't get enough of wrestling every chance he gets.
I mean, I knew him growing up. Like I watched him growing up. He was pretty close to my age, but I mean, since coming here, I mean, I haven't really ran into him or anything that much. So,
Did you talk to him at all when you guys ran into each other as far as, wrestling technique or anything like that once he got onto the bare knuckle stage?
no, but I haven't really had much
Yeah, fair enough.
connection to him. So,
No, it's all right. I just know that he always said, what's his quote? Wrestlers do it best. And I feel like I know what he means by that. But what is that when somebody says that? What does that mean to you as a wrestler?
wrestlers do it best. I mean, I just think it kind of goes to that old adage that like, once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy.
Holy crap.
I think that's kind of what I think that's kind of what he's alluding to. Like once you do that, like everything else that you do is just you're going to be the best at it. I think is what he's trying to say there. So,
Yeah, fair enough. I think, Kai is one with words. He keeps it short and sweet, very simple. I love that he still has time for the community, Great Falls and comes back. But yeah, I would love to get you guys in a room and just see the interaction and the back and forth. Or he did an open in Spokane also. So that was a lot of fun to see some of the highlights. He pinned twice and then got beat once. And I was like, who the hell beat you, man? Like, it's crazy to think about, but he loves wrestling. I think even more so than bare knuckle. But he's doing one of the avenues that a person that wants to fight or wrestle professionally can do. So you want to get your degree, go back and teach. Are you thinking about taking over at Sydney once your coach is done and retired, or like where do you see your path leading?
I'm not really sure where I'll end up, but I mean, I've definitely thought about going back home and taking over from O's when he's done, but who knows? He might coach for another 50 years.
Wrestle him for it?
Yeah, I might have to. I don't know if I'll win that one, but might have to.
All right. Well, Irish came up with the term Montana tough because he did some time in the Midwest and said those boys, they can't hang with us here in Montana. You have obviously been through it at every level, four-time state champion, and now here at Providence. What does Montana tough mean to you if you had to describe it to somebody?
Um, I think I kind of because I'm kind of around like a agricultural area. I think it's kind of like that farm boy, like you know what I mean. Those farm boys are tough, so I think that's kind of what it means. Like we're these small town kids that are just pretty tough kids. So.
Do you see the difference? Because you guys, there's not any, hardly any home meets. I was talking to Comac about this. I was just like, I'd love to come to more of these for you guys, but it's like you guys are never here. He's like, it's us in Northern. That's it. That like for wrestling programs in the States. So we wrestle twice a year, once here, once there, and then we're everywhere else. So I think they were in Michigan or Missouri this week. But I mean, you go around, you guys get to see what other regions' products, so to speak, are like. Is there a clear difference between you guys here in 406 and those guys in the Midwest and even the Minnesota areas?
I mean, I don't really know if we're tougher or not because there's tough kids all over the United States. So I mean, can't really weigh in on that one, but there's definitely tough kids here in Montana, which I don't think a lot of people think about, but there's tough kids everywhere in the United States for sure.
Irish is just a big talker, but hey, he delivered out on the mat. I wanted to see a pin from him, but he got the points there, and I thought that was a great match. And then Jesse Anson's pin at 259, that was crazy. For you, since I'll ask you this because I asked AJ LaFerge this. I'm curious, but there's certain sounds, certain moments that I think trigger that reaction of like goosebumps, hair on your arm standing up, or just like chills down your spine. And for athletes, I'm assuming if you play football, it's a touchdown or an interception. If you're a wrestler, it's the hand hitting the mat for a pin. And then if you're track and field, it's crossing that finish line a split second before the guy next to you. So for you, I feel like I probably know the answer, but like what was it like hearing and getting those different reactions throughout your high school career? And do you have a favorite one?
Favorite one, okay, actually, my favorite one is probably going to be so my senior year. I already finished wrestling, and my little brother was a freshman at the time, Reese, and he was in the state finals. And when he pinned his kid in the state finals, that was probably my definitely one of like the reactions that I'm going to remember for a long time.
Oh, that's cool, man. Not even one of your own. That's cool.
No.
Was there a touchdown or an interception that you remember from your football playing days above the rest?
So football is probably going to be when we were in the playoffs and we were playing Dillon, and I scored the opening touchdown for that one. The roar of the
Nice.
crowd was pretty fun for that one. So,
For sure, man. All right, well, now we can move on to the fun ones. Who, I think we already kind of answered this one, but everybody talks about him. Who is HIM? Who on the Argos in your time there is him?
is hit. I'm gonna give it to my good buddy Jalen Vladic. I don't know if
Oh
you've
yeah.
ever met. I don't know if you've ever met Vladic, but he's a very loud kid. You know what I mean? He's super fun to be around. Like probably him. He's him for sure.
All right, what is it about the state of Montana you love so much?
Um, I think just how big it is and how different, like, how different from east to west is. And, like, what I mean, the flatland over there with the big sky over there and then the mountains over here. So I think just how different it is.
What was Sydney like if you had to describe it to somebody who's never been there?
Small town. And that's probably all I'm going to say. I'm going to say small town.
All right. What is it about wrestling that they don't tell you? So, in other words, everybody knows that it's a grind, that it's a tough sport, but what don't they tell you if you had to think about one thing about wrestling? Because you've been through it your whole life.
Um, I think now that I'm older, like, wrestling's pretty fun. You know what I mean? Nobody ever says wrestling's that fun, you know what I mean? But like when I guess when you've been in it as long as I have, like you can see the fun part of it. Like I love going to practice every day. I love going on trips with my boys and stuff like that. So it's a pretty fun sport.
When you hang them up, the cleats or the shoes and the singlet for the last time, what's going to be the one thing about it that you do not miss?
Oh, cut and weight, 100%. Cut and weight.
Do you have a trick for that yet? Is there a secret to it?
Uh, I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. Clean diet, work out quite a bit, and just stay disciplined. But I mean, everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes you want to go have that ice cream bowl or a chocolate bar or something like that. So,
I always talk with wrestlers and their coaches about how just, you know, terrible timing wrestling season is. It's almost unfair because it goes over Thanksgiving and Christmas, the two biggest food holidays of the year. And I know some of them will slip up and they'll have a little day and then they'll punish themselves. I think it's punishment enough to have a sport that requires you to be at a certain weight over those holidays. But for you, did you have those times where you could kind of treat yourself, or once you're all done with wrestling, are you going to go back to enjoying holidays the way that God intended?
I mean, there was definitely times on both sides of the spectrum, like when I was a freshman in high school and I was, it was like my first time cutting weight. I think I'm pretty sure I cried at the dinner table because I didn't get to eat everything I wanted to for Thanksgiving. But then like this Thanksgiving, I ate pretty much whatever I wanted.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, it's the year off. But remember, Chris
yeah,
said you can't get fat.
yeah, I know. I've been working out enough to keep it down. So
Who's got one of the worst habits on the team? I don't know if it's biting fingernails or smelly socks or chewing loud, but who's got the worst habit in your eyes on the team?
Worst habit. Who's got this is a funny question. I gotta think about this for a second. What just bothers me?
Right?
I'm trying to find like the most annoying one.
That's
I
usually
mean
what
that
it comes down to is just what bugs me and who
yeah,
doesn't.
that's what I'm thinking about. I think I'm gonna go with Nau McBriar. He's like our 41 power from Hawaii. When that kid jumps on aux and starts playing his Hawaiian music, every it's when it's every other day. When it's every other day. If it's like once in a while, then I don't mind it. But when it starts coming on like every other time, I'm like, oh boy.
Is it like that stereotypical luau stuff that you see in movies, like that they're dancing to at candlelit dinners, or like what kind of music
No,
is
it's
he?
more like it's like a upbeat kind of reggae hip hop kind of thing.
Oh,
But
okay.
you can't really understand what they're saying because they kind of have that
Oh.
accent to them. But
Okay. All right. So now there's music. I got it.
yeah, yeah. Hope he watches this so he can hear that.
Are you superstitious?
Um, no, not super, not really.
Okay. Is there somebody on the team that is, and what is their superstition?
Abel's little brother Tony Nava. This is also one of the things that bothers me. His superstition is he has to wear a black sock and a white sock on competition day, and it bothers me so bad. Like, pick a color, dude.
Just pick a color. Okay.
Yes,
Like,
pick a color.
does he wash them after every match?
Yeah, I know he washes them. It's
Okay.
just
Okay.
one's got to be black, one's got to be white, and it bothers me.
We had a coach in attendance for one of the coaches show last week, and his daughter is not superstitious at all. And I think it's because her dad was, and he's like, it was underwear, never changed them
Oh, no,
from game to game. And I was like, wow, yeah, that will scar somebody's kid for sure. But
yeah,
I
no.
get it's only weird if it doesn't work. What's something that you've learned to love about the sport of wrestling the more that you've gone through it? Obviously, you want to be a coach, so there's got to be something about it that you've come to really appreciate.
I think just like the learning aspect of it, like going through technique, like or going through different positions, like there's so many ways for people to wrestle. Like there's not one way to do it, you know what I mean? Like everybody has their own style and I think like doing that, like I love asking kids like, "Oh, hey, what do you do in this position to score?" or like, "What are you doing here?" and like asking kids and picking their brains and doing stuff like that. And it's just like the fact that there's so many layers and levels to wrestling, that's super cool.
Is there any kind of initiation for wrestlers coming up at the college level? Anything that like wrestling a guy several weight classes above them or wrestling in a ridiculous outfit? Like how do you guys welcome the new classes?
Well, I mean, since I've been here, it's been Jalen and I kind of going in with the freshmen saying, "Hey, let's go practice." And it's not really practice; it's guys kind of welcoming them to college wrestling and mess with them up a little bit.
Oh man. Um, is there a singlet, because you guys wear all different styles of them, but is there a singlet that you can't stand? Like one that you've worn throughout your career or one that you've seen that you're like, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen?
Basically all of our singlets except for the black one.
You're not a fan of the green and
Oh,
the blue colors.
I hate the green one. The blue ones are actually okay. I'll let the blue ones pass, but the green ones and the gray ones, I hate them. Absolutely hate them. They're not comfortable, and I don't think they look good. So
Who's the best trash talker on the team?
Jalen Vladeck,
No hesitation
nope,
whatsoever.
nope, not even close. Him and Blaze Sumaru too. Another kid from Hawaii. Those two, they like to talk. It's fun talk, but they love to talk trash.
Now, one thing I've been curious about, because I was trying to listen, I really was. I was actively listening, and of course, the coaches are yelling, and there's like three coaches on both teams yelling. So six people yelling at once at two guys on the mat. But I was really listening. I was seeing if there were moments where they were talking to each other during the match. Is that a thing? Do you guys, talk trash to each other out there on the mat, or is that strictly a before and after kind of thing?
That's like, I talk trash more to like my teammates and stuff. Like I don't. There's been a couple times maybe where I've been in a match and I've like talked to the kid, but it's never been like trash talk.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I just like talking in the match seems kind of weird to me. I would never do it. So
It just it seems like it would be awkward to not talk, but at the same time, it's like, what are you gonna say? Like you're nothing. Like I'm like I'm gonna smoke you or something. I don't even know what you would say, but it's yeah, it's very quiet out there, almost awkwardly. But like I said, I don't know what people would say to each other. Okay, so before and after trash talk, you trash talk more to your team than anybody else. You've obviously traveled around the country with Providence since you guys don't have a lot of teams that you can wrestle here in the States. So, favorite stop is there a favorite stop you have?
um okay, I got two of them. We go down to Southeastern University in Florida every other year, and that one, fun trip, absolutely. I mean, it's in the middle of winter here, so it's negative or freezing.
Yeah.
And then we go down to Florida and it's nice and we go hit the beach and like good competition down there when we're wrestling too. And then the other one's Arizona. We go down to Phoenix and wrestle the Arizona schools and it's nice outside. So
All right. So Arizona has Whataburgers and Florida has Waffle Houses. Have you been to both?
I have been to the Waffle House in Florida, but I haven't been to Whataburger in Arizona.
Have you been to a Whataburger at all?
No, I have not.
Wow. I'm a little
I'm
disappointed.
I'm a Raising Cane's guy when we go to Arizona.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So, what was the best place to eat for you guys down in Florida then, if it wasn't Waffle House?
In Florida, where did we go? Oh, we went and ate as a team. Where was that place? I think it was some locally owned like steakhouse that was really good.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Is there a favorite place you have here in Great Falls that you got to go to at least once a week to get that meal, or else
Oh, Panda Express, huge Panda Express guy. I love Panda Express. I know it's not local or nothing like that, but chain, we don't have that over in Sydney and it's long drive to get it. So every time I'm here for school, I can go get it all the time.
you get Panda anywhere, but I want it here in Great
Oh
Falls.
yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see. Who's got I forget if you guys have like locker rooms, but I guess who's got the messiest, just nastiest locker on the team?
Nasty. Oh, Blaze. Easily Blaze. I mean, he's got everything from clothes to knee pads to shoes to yeah, no, it's definitely his.
What's the hardest that you've been taken down in wrestling? Because there was a couple of times where I thought a full on like suplex was coming on the mat, and some guys got taken down hard. But I've yet to see like that big hard like over the body takedown. What was the hardest takedown for you, and who was it?
It was our assistant coach, Cole Mendenhall. And it was probably last week. I think
Oh wow.
I was wrestling with him, and with Cole, usually it's like, okay, we're gonna warm up, and then it's pretty much slap hands, and we're getting after each other the whole practice. And he didn't warn me. He didn't say nothing like, okay, we're getting into it right away. No warm up, nothing. Hip toss right to my back, like 5 seconds into practice. So that was probably it right there. I mean, I hit pretty hard, but
How much, and I asked this of Bowden, and I know for you guys it might be a little different, but how much, I guess, film study or study of your opponent do you do?
I mean, like I'll watch a little bit just to kind of see like what are their tendencies, what kind of shots they like. But I mean, I don't get totally consumed into it. I like kind of working what I'm good at. So
Okay, so wrestling is a sport, from what I understand, talking to you guys, is more of like you have your own sort of signature and identity as a wrestler. You stick to fine-tuning that, and then it kind of just matches up against your opponent however it does.
yeah, for the most part, like I mean,
Okay.
it totally depends on how you wrestle. Because there's been a couple kids that I've known that are big film guys. You know what I mean? If they don't watch film, they're not wrestling just as good. So
Yeah, there was a story, I forget who it was. One of them was Ken Griffey Jr., and I think the other one, who was it? It was back then, when Griffey was just starting to come up through the ranks as the kid, the big home run guy. And so Griffey goes up, knocks one out of the park, comes back to the dugout, and the guy, on his team leans over to him. He's like, "So what was the count?" And he goes, what? Huh? What do you mean? He's like, "Well, was it like, did he go two fastballs and then change up, or did he, throw a curve in there? Like, what was the count?" He's like, "I don't know, I just swing." Like,
mhm.
and this guy is coming from a total analytical standpoint where he's trying to get a guy's pitch count down, where it's just like, okay, if he throws two curves, then he's coming with a fastball on that third one.
Mhm.
That's when you take your shot. And Griffey is that guy that just goes out there and swings. Is that kind of how it is for most wrestlers? Is that you just go out there and wrestle?
I think so. I think yeah. I think a lot of I mean, especially a lot of kids on our team, it's just like, all right, we're gonna slap hands, we're just gonna hook it up. We're not really too worried about film or nothing. We're gonna go out there, we're gonna wrestle how we want to. So
Wow, that's impressive, man. I tell you. Well, what is the one thing that Sydney did for you growing up that you feel has made you into the person that you are?
um I think it's the wrestling program, really. I mean, it's influenced everything. Like, it's taught me how to work hard. It's taught me discipline. It's taught me, motivation, go get things that you want. So I think just the wrestling program. I mean, all the way from Shane Gorder helping out with the AAU program to the middle school. And then, like, my dad and Nick Lonsky and Guy Melby, just all of it. Just, I mean, really, I think has prepared me well for life after high school and stuff like that.
What's the biggest upset you've seen?
Biggest upset just this year or like all,
No,
like,
all time.
all time. Ooh boy, which one have I seen? I think I'm gonna go with it was a life kid. It was national finals a couple of years ago. It was a life kid who was he pinned Greg Hagan from Grandview. And I mean I don't know if that was the biggest one I've seen, but that was definitely one of the more memorable ones.
Let's stop at high school career. So going back to the beginning of your high school career, who was your first pin?
Oh boy. First pin. Okay, so I remember my first match. I won 1-0 against Wyatt Springer from Lake Stevens, Washington. And then we wrestled. Who did we wrestle? I'm gonna have to think. Oh, it was a Minot kid. It was a
Oh,
Minot kid. Yep, because they were our second duel at the Eagle.
wow. Am
Yep.
I not kidding? Okay, you remember the school, but not necessarily the name. That's fine.
Nope. Nope. Don't remember the name. It might have been Goodman. Goodman. It might have been Goodman. Something like that.
Well, pre-match or duel or whatever, I mean, what do you have to go through? Do you have a playlist, a snack, like anything that you have to do every time in order to have the best performance out on the mat?
So first off, I need my after like my weight cutting stuff. Like I'll drink my 2 pounds of water and get some food in me. But I gotta have my Gatorade mixed with White Monster. I
Okay.
gotta have that, and then I gotta hit a pretty good warm up, and then right before my match, I gotta have my headphones on, and I'm either listening to country music or like girl music. So,
Okay. What's a no skip song from the girl music?
girls chase boys.
That's awesome, man. Country music or girl music. And then there's
Yep.
two other wrestlers that listen to like Katy Perry from I think Great Falls High CMR, one of those two. I talked with them on the coaches show and they're like, "Yeah, girl music." What? Okay, is
It,
that a thing? Did I miss a memo?
well, I think it's just like for me, and I think it's the same with quite a few kids. Is like, you know what I mean? Like I listen to some of the rap and hard rap stuff like that too. Like I don't mind that for like working out, but like before a match, I think it gets me too amped up. I don't want to crash like
Mm.
right before my match. So like the country music usually like kind of calms me down, and like the girl music just like kind of gets me in like a groovy mood. So.
Man, it's crazy because I know there's, football players that I've met that have like their hip hop and rap playlist and they're just trying to get into like this zone where it's just like a vibe almost, they're just
Hmm.
following a constant beat. But I remember for me, very early on when I played, recreational sports and then when I was a drummer, I needed to listen to like angry rock music. Like I need to go out there almost pissed off. But you guys don't do that. Is that like a taboo thing to go out angry in a wrestling match of all things?
I think Comac says it the best. He's like, there's some kids where he feels he needs to like slap them before the match because they need to be angry because they wrestle better that way. But like, I mean, like for me, I've never been like a kid that I don't wrestle very angry. Like, I'm not a super strong kid. I'm more of like a slick kind of go with the flow of the match kind of thing. So you know what I mean? I just would rather stay like just calm, collected. So.
Okay. All right. Well, man, we like to wrap up our time here with our guests with any sort of life advice, experience, life lessons, or just wisdom that you can pass on to the rest of the people for the next guest or whoever's watching.
Probably just truly be yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't change up for anybody or for other people. Just be yourself.
Just be yourself. I like it, man. Well, I guess I forgot to ask what degree you're going for. Like you're gonna go and teach or coach after, but what degree are you currently earning?
I'm doing business management.
Okay, okay.
'Cause I over in Sydney, actually, I worked for my head coach's son. He owns a roofing business, and I've been doing that for like 7 years now. And I kind of plan or hope to start up my own roofing business eventually with coaching in the sun in the winter. So.
All right, so the very much blue collar, very much a homebody, Aden
Mhm.
Graves, the grave digger, that we're gonna start calling here. I cannot wait to see you hit the mat again next year. I thought it was kind of weird that I wasn't seeing more stuff about you on the stuff that Argos was sharing as far as people ranked and everything, but glad that you're still having an impact and a role with the team, the way that you are now, and that we get one more year of Aden Graves wrestling. But man, thank you so much for your time. It's been great chatting with you and talking everything wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to come on here.
Yeah, man, great time. So, until the next one, which we'll see just where the stars take us, so to speak. But it's been a great time talking with Aden Graves. So, for Mr. Gravedigger Aden Graves, I'm the team man, Richard Teeman. And until next time, you can catch us among the stars of Big Sky Country. We'll see you then.